Hi, welcome back to my channel, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina. Today, I'm going to talk about actually Mercury retrograde in Taurus. And actually, I'm going to talk about Mercury going to Taurus for all the signs. So yesterday, on April 3rd, Mercury, the planet of communication, transformation, went actually to Taurus, which is a fixed, tangible earth sign. Mercury over here is really actually practical and very purposeful and truly persistent. So to understand Mercury and Mercury retrograde, we're going to have to talk about both of the archetype over here. So who is Mercury? Mercury in Greek mythology was Hermes. And most of you probably studied mythology and know, like he had the hat with the wing and he actually had the shoes with the wing, which is helped him to go really, really fast. We call the shoes the talaria. And some of you also might remember the other symbol in Mercury's hand, and that is the caduceus actually, which is a stick with two serpents, right? So those two serpents actually is linked to healing. So Mercury rules Gemini. Gemini is the third astrological sign and also rules Virgo as well. But Mercury in Virgo in 15 degrees, it's exaltation. And it's fall in Pisces, 15 degrees. And also it's detriment in Sagittarius because it rules Gemini, so it's detriment in Sagittarius. So doesn't do well in Sagittarius and doesn't do very well in Pisces. But right now it's going to Taurus. But I said very practical over here. Mercury has to do something with communication, as I mentioned before, has to do something with communication devices, with younger sibling, has to be something with neighborhood when it's ruled Gemini, written words, writing books, doing something with artificial intelligence website, Mercury associated and linked to sales as well, and vehicles, cars as well. So what else can we learn about Mercury over here and mention about Mercury? So in Gemini, it's very airy. It's really fast. It's really easygoing. Mercury has no gender. It's gender fluid. Also, it is well, it's never really further away 27 degrees from the sun. So it's a really, really fast planet going truly fast. And in the tarot card, it's representing the magician. In numerology, it's representing number 4. Mercury is associated with the color green, mostly the light green color. And if we are thinking about any gemstones, it could be emerald, green aventurine, any kind of green stones. It rules communication, so it also rules the throat chakra as well. And the throat chakra usually ruled by bluish color, more like turquoise, but the bluish, greenish, light green also could be associated with communication, but rules communication. All right. If we are talking about herbs and not only gemstones, then and emerald. Emerald is a really, really amazing clarifying stone as well, because Mercury rules the brain, the way we are processing information, the way we are capable to understand the text, to read. And seeing that, if you are having some kind of, in your chart, Mercury is either in fall or detriment, even in Sagittarius or Pisces, or has very hard aspect with malefic planet, for example, opposition or squares or in conjunction quincunx with any malefic like Saturn or even with Neptune, then you will need to make your Mercury stronger, and you can use some kind of herbs, not just gemstone. If it's gemstones, use aventurine, green aventurine, And you can use also turquoise, you can also use emerald. If it comes to herbs, then you can use anything that's actually enhancing the brain. So gotu kola, you can use ginkgo biloba, ginseng, and you can also use lion's mane mushroom, because it's really good for the brain. You can sniff rosemary, majoram, any kind of herbs which is actually have that kind of intense smell. So dill, majoram, rosemary is really good, as I mentioned. And you can make tea, tincture, or anything out from it. You can use it as a capsule, but definitely it is good for your brain, giving you clarity as well. Okay, so what else should we talk about here? So Mercury going to Taurus, it's going to actually going to an earth sign. Taurus ruled by Venus, and then Taurus rules the second house, anything to do with your talent, your skills, your values. This is a financial, material house. That is your material possessions. That is your money, what you earn. That is your jewelry, perhaps your art, what you are collecting, anything that is valuable and you are collecting. So Taurus also likes safety. So Mercury over here might going to represent like we are seeking for safety and comfort, but through some kind of Mercurian energy. What is that? Mercury rules cameras, you know, like safety cameras, for example, or rules artificial intelligence as well. The internet rules the AI and the internet as well, not just Uranus, but Mercury as well. So it could be like we are going to actually seek for safety through, like everybody wants to put on a ring, because Mercury also associated with petty theft. And actually it could represent like in Taurus, like they going to have, we want to actually save our houses and put on cameras because of somehow theft going to grow, and somehow we're going to have more robberies during this period, and that's why we are going to protect ourselves with cameras. Okay, what else am I going to talk about here? I'm going to check my little note. All right, so tangible energies and something what you need to touch and feel. That's Taurus. Taurus likes to have proof. Taurus is not like Pisces doesn't need to have any proof. It's beliefs. Taurus wants to have proof all the time. Want to smell, want to taste, want to touch it. So it has to be tangible. So Mercury is associated with sales, and it could be like at the beginning, the sales of arts going to get, or collectible going to actually be increasing during this period. But we have to understand right after Mercury goes to Taurus, it's going to actually go to shadow period on the 7th already. So Mercury gonna be in Taurus for a long time, from April 3rd until June 11th. So this is a long time. And it's gonna go to retrograde on April 21st until May 15th. But before May 7th, already going to enter pre-retrograde period, right? Pre-retrograde shadow period. So everything what's going to get amplified with Mercury retrograde, it's already going to start on the 7th. So what is really Mercury retrograde? I keep mentioning that we don't fear of Mercury retrograde, because over here we only going to everything. So revisit, re-enter, refriend, reinvent, rewrite. For example, if you have a manuscript, you're going to have to rewrite. If you have something to do with text or text return, you might going to have to readjust that, because why? Taurus is your earned money, and the opposition of that is the shared resources, 8 horses, which is tax and loan. So it would be like some kind of paperwork is missing and you need to actually refile something, okay? So everything with read, you don't fear about that. However, if you do purchase something in this time, when Mercury is in retrograde, and it has to do something with photographic camera, any kind of expression of yourself, camera also express yourself, right? So photographic camera, communication devices, laptop, MacBook, whatever it is, a vehicle, then you might have to keep the receipt, make sure, because of then you might going to need to readjust after Mercury going to go direct, because you will say, oh my God, how did I even think I need to have a pink car? I mean, I hate this color. I didn't see clearly. Or, you know, it could be something with, you sign a contract and you're going to regret later because of, you know, you were so, you know, like, assertive or action oriented. You wanted to take action, and later on, oh, you know what, this job, whatever I wanted to have, actually it's not really my purpose. So I think I made a mistake, and you know, I need to quit. So careful with that. But yes, contracts, check the little tiny print in your contract, because it might be something over there what was hidden and you didn't see, and later on it could come to a regret. And all right, so let's see what aspect is going to go make. So Mercury actually going to square Pluto, and it's going to sextile with Saturn. So both of the planets, one is a social planet, which is Saturn, and the other one is a generational planet, Pluto. Pluto just entered ingressed Aquarius. And actually, Mercury likes to be in Aquarius, right? Because of that's the big brother of Mercury. You know, Mercury is the lower brain. Uranus, the brother of Mercury, is the higher brain, the higher intellect. So it's familiar. It's actually Mercury in Aquarius. If somebody has that placement, it's quite genius. But Pluto went to Aquarius. So it's a major change in the way we process information, the way we are related to artificial intelligence, the way we related to researches, humanitarian project. And it's going to square Mercury. The square in astrology, it is actually a 90-degree angle, and actually it's bringing in some kind of challenges. It's some kind of difficulties, and usually it's a Martian aspect. So it's an action oriented, it's an impulsive, it's a fighter aspect over here. And it's also going to sextile Saturn. Saturn is the Lord of Karma. Saturn is really diligent. It has a lot of endurance, but also connected with dash, just like Pluto, and with fears as well, and delays. Mercury retrograde itself could be delaying traveling as well for some. Or, you know, we will go sign by sign, and then I'm going to talk about that. Where does it affect you guys? But in general, it could be like traveling delayed. And because Mercury rules the 3rd house, in general, it could be short distance traveling, but also rules the 6th house, Virgo, so some kind of health issue could come back, or maybe you need to go back and do some more testing in the lab because of, you know, the numbers didn't add up, and, you know, like you need to retest. If you definitely, if it's in your 6th house, you definitely need to go to get second opinion for sure. Okay. But I was talking about Saturn, and Saturn, it's going to make a sextile. Sextile is a Venusian energy. It is not coming without any object, but it is very sweet. It's a sweet aspect. It is a beneficial aspect. You don't have to fight. You don't have to go to war to get what you need or what you wanted, like with the Martian aspect, with the square. Over here, it's more pleasant. It's easier, right? And Saturn with this endurance and Mercury between, it could create some kind of long-term, like you might want it to study something, and actually Saturn is giving you the opportunity, and it's, or you sign the contract, and the contract, for example, 6 houses tenancy, because rules Virgo, right? Or 3rd house is studying something, it's going to be a long-term contract. Maybe you are teaching children in primary school and you got a fixed contract with Saturn over there. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go actually for you guys sign by sign, and I'm gonna show that over here. And you know what? I'm going to also represent Pluto and Saturn for all of us. So I'm gonna start with Aries. So if you have an Aries rising, Aries sun, or Aries moon, Mercury gonna go to your 2nd house, and Saturn actually it's in your 12th house, and Pluto is in your 11th house. Here it is, you see? All right, let me see, where is my camera? You don't see. Why don't you see? Oh, because I have to. Okay, here. So, yes, there is a square between Pluto and Mercury in your 11th and 2nd house. So here is the thing. Pluto could be some kind of shared resources, right? 11th house is a friend. I'm just brainstorming. 2nd house is your values, it is your earned money. So some friend might have lent money for you or borrowed money from you, and not capable to give it back to you, or you are not capable to give it back to them. So it could create a conflict. It could be also some kind of conflict between you being promised to get a bonus, a promotion, because the 11th house also is coming from, it could be investment, but also it could be money from your career, from your purpose. So it could be like, all right, I signed that contract and I'm supposed to get that promotion, and it's supposed to come with some kind of financial abundance, but at this moment, the company is not capable to pay it. They promised to me, but it's going to get delayed. Also, it could create some kind of difficulties because the 2nd house is your values, and the 11th house is your friendship zone, the society. It could create some kind of situation with you hurt somebody's feeling on a social media platform. So you will be careful with your words, what you are putting out there. It also could represent like you will need to pay more money because of you need some kind of investigation and you hired someone, or it's a legal matter, something you sue the company or they sued you and they still need to get more money, and they just milking you and to achieve whatever you need to, but you feel like overwhelmed with that situation. With Saturn in your 12th house, Saturn in the 12th house could means like you need to get rid of an addiction, and perhaps you found the right therapy, the right psychologist over here. You're going to get determined, and you're going to have a lot of endurance, and you're going to be strict and make sure you're going to stick with it. So if you want to get rid of an addiction, it would be wonderful. If you are actually seeking a job in the field of filmmaking, photography, art, holistic healer, vacation rental, hospice, hospitality, hospital with the unprivileged, orphanage, or jail, it could be a right decision right now, even when Mercury goes to retrograde, because an opportunity might come back to you. So that is really good for you guys. All right, so let's go, and we're going to go to Taurus right now. So if you have a Taurus rising, Taurus moon, or Taurus sun, Mercury went in your 1st house, Saturn is in your 11th, and Pluto is in your 10th house here. Okay, so let's see, Mercury in your first house. First house has to do everything with yourself, with your personality. It is a new beginning. It is the mask what you are pretending, society, the mask what you put on. That is actually self-awareness. That is the way you are representing your company. That is your vitality and representing your company and your business as well. So your business profile. Mercury over here going to actually bring in an opportunity with sales. So if you are having your own company, you might going to sell more communication devices or anything Mercury related, maybe Mercurian herbs you are going to sell a lot. Or maybe you're going to start a school. Mercury, don't forget, it's schooling as well, and it's primary, or it is some kind of even astrology school, or you want to do your website. And it is a good time right now to revisit the situation and recreate something and relaunch that after Mercury goes direct. So Saturn in your 11th house going to bring in permanent friendships, and it is going to change your society, and it's going to change your friendship zone. The friends going to be most likely older than you are, or very mature and more responsible. Saturn is really responsible, not really fun, but those people could be very powerful or have some kind of political power, and you're going to make friendship with them. So it could be also like you're going to get, will be asked to actually talk in front in social events, for example, or do a workshop, and they're going to ask you to do that, and they're going to make you their permanent speaker or motivational speaker. But it has to do something either with Piscean energy, so either with holistic healing or you know, anything what Pisces rules, because Saturn over there. So it rules holistic healing, it also rules crude oil, it also rules like foreign countries as well. So, you know, like you can talk about anything like that, but most likely it could be holistic healing, or, you know, like, for example, it would be great. Saturn is undeveloped land, and Taurus is also connected with earth and land. So it could be like, you're going to actually teach people how to do live off the grid kind of consultations as well. And it's going to actually square with Pluto in your 10th house. Pluto in your 10th house the next 20 years going to create amazing opportunities in your career. You might going to also have some kind of situation with getting in politics, in office. Definitely powerful transformation. But 10th house, first house could be like, you know, your CEO, your boss going to ask you to communicate a different way because they don't like the way you represent the company. So there is a tension because it's too much expectation from you. And actually Pluto is very powerful, and they want, and Pluto actually in Aquarius in 10th house could be like uniformized. Pluto over there, it's like everybody in Aquarius, everybody is uniformized, right? Pluto want to uniformize, but Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, they don't want to have that. And because it's squaring with Mercury, it's representing like, don't tell me how I think. That's not what I experience. That's not how I want to represent. That's not the way I speak. Don't put words in my mouth, some kind of situation with an authority figure. It could be even an authority figure, a father figure, you know, they just don't like the way you speak right now, if you are a teenager or younger adult. And, you know, then you're going to have conflict between that. You don't want them to change you. You don't want to lose your authenticity just to fit in the mold kind of situation. All right, let's move forward, and we're going to talk about Geminis. And if you are a Gemini, Mercury gonna go to your 12th house, Saturn 10 and Pluto in your 9th house. So you might going to go to foreign countries and live in foreign countries the next 20 years. Or it could also mean Saturn in the 10th house and sextile with Mercury. like you going to actually right now sign contract with anything, with filmmaking, or you might going to get an advance to write your script, movie script. And Saturn over there, actually in Pisces, it is helping and enduring and giving you kind of endurance and giving you like you are diligent to do that. You're gonna sit still and make sure you are not distracted. You just work on a manuscript or photography or anything like that. Definitely in the 10th house, Saturn could bring in some kind of social status change. It is actually, it's the Lord of Karma. It is creating a permanent career for you. And the 12th house, Mercury retrograde there, it could be something with you actually going to have an opportunity to buy a land. And it is in a foreign or faraway country or maybe an island, because Taurus is gardens, or it could be because 12th house is big animals. So you can be advocate of big animals, for example. And it doesn't necessarily have to be only mammals, not only sea mammals, but it could be, because Saturn in Pisces could be sea mammals, but Taurus, it could be something about horses, bears, but advocate of big animals and protecting them, or creating some kind of organization. 10th house is something also Saturn usually, because it's also rules Aquarius, so some kind of humanitarian or organization or non-profit. And Pluto in Aquarius also could be something with non-profit, but because it's squaring with your 12th house matters, it could be like, but ninth house usually also ruled by Jupiter, just like 12th house. So it has to be something with your liver detoxification. You might actually need to make sure you are not obsessed with something. Maybe it's traveling, maybe it's drinking, maybe it's some kind of cult, because in your ninth house, it's philosophy and it's religion. Pluto in Aquarius over there, it could be like you entered a tribe and then they're going to actually take money from you. So careful, be aware over here, because they can be thief. They might going to ask for donation for something, and actually they are not even representing that cause. So that's a warning sign for you guys here. Okay, all right, let's move forward and let's go to Cancer. If you have a Cancer rising, Cancer sun, or Cancer moon, then Mercury going to go to your 11th house. It's gonna retrograde over there, so it will bring back friends and friendship zone. You might going to re-enter a community, so you might actually exit some kind of social media tribe, or like some kind of social media account you disconnected, and right now you want to connect again. Pluto in your 8th house, it has to do something with shared resources, inheritance. It could do something with investing in stock market, investing in artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, because Aquarius is cryptocurrency, also, and artificial intelligence as well, digital currency. So yeah, but that's squaring with Mercury. So it could be like, all right, I get a tip, and I get a tip from a society where I entered, and actually the tip was false, and I'm angry, and it's giving attention because I'm gonna blame them if I lose money. So careful what you're going to invest, or make sure you are aware of every condition. You read all the small print over here, because of you could be fooled. But also with Saturn in 9th house, it's going to sextile. So 11th house, 9th house, it could be like you're going to go to travel. And this travel actually came back to you because maybe it was planned during COVID and you couldn't go. And right now, a friend is going to actually almost like force you to go, because, yeah, we missed that, let's go. You promised to me, kind of situation. And you will be like, all right, let's do that. And check your passport, check everything with delays, but other than that, it could be actually really powerful and good bonding. Yes, good bonding. or actually it could bring in a foreigner for you. And if you are married already, if you divorced twice already, then it could bring in a third partner for you. It could also bring in a foreign kind of business, investment situation, or you might going to get your doctorate or finish your university, and because of that you are capable to start a new job, a new career, and you're gonna get actually promotion from your career right away. So it's a long-term opportunity for you. Okay, if you have a Leo rising, Leo moon, or Leo sun, Taurus gonna be in your 10th house of career, Saturn in your 8th house, and Pluto in your 7th house. Pluto in your 7th house going to transform all your relationship. It's going to transform your business partnerships. It's going to transform your marriage. So if you want to get married, it will be the next 20-year opportunity, getting someone. But careful, because of Pluto in the 7th could be someone really powerful, or it could be someone who is abusive or who is controlling. And some of you, the next 20 years, going to marry with an artificial intelligence. That's what it is. All right. But it's squaring 7th house, 10th house. So what does it represent? 7th house is your significant other or business partner. 10th house is your purpose, career. That is your honor. That is your achievement. So actually, because Mercury is bringing back an opportunity over there, it could represent like you will be really occupied with your work, and it's going to give attention between you and your significant other, because you're not going to think of intimacy right now. And Pluto in 0 degree over here, or 1 degree in 7th, it's 1, 2, it's everything about sexuality or deep conversations. And right now, because Mercury is gonna go retrograde, it's not that focused, and actually it's going to need more attention to pay on the career. And that's why it's like, oh, I don't want to be touched, I don't want any intimacy, because I just have to focus on my career. It could also actually bring some kind of big difficulties with a business partnership, because you invested with someone, and there is some kind of the values are not the same, and it is going to bring in some kind of a fight. It could be a fight about that, and about the way you are spending the business money, the money from the business. Either your significant other or business partner going to question you. But in Saturn in the 8th house of shared resources, it could actually bring in for you an inheritance. It could be an older authority figure who can pass away for you the next 2.5 years. It could be inheritance. It could be, and you signing the contract or revisiting. It could be something with banks. It could be something with loans. It could be something with anything with shared resources, even with your significant other's money, and that is positive. So if you lost something, if you have identity theft, if you had bank theft, cryptocurrency, like something missing from your account, somebody stole something from you, you needed to hire a detective, that situation going to get resolved right now, and it's coming back to you. All right. Yes, but inheritance also possible. Or, you might going to get a good news and you don't have to pay the loan, but you have, because either you pay off all your debts, or either because the bank lost your paper and you don't have to pay it off. Okay, Virgos, let's see what's going to happen with you. Mercury in your 9th house. So if you are traveling and if you are going to a long distance travel, then make sure all your paperwork are fine, because it could get delayed. But also, it could bring back an opportunity with publishing. You might going to have to revisit how you published your book and, make some arrangement or adjustment over that. It could be also like you might going to enter or re-enter a school. And it could be a higher education, but also it could be something with philosophy or religion. So You might get disconnected with your religion, but right now you want to return to it. And because of it is sextiling with Saturn in your seventh house is your partnership, business partnership. They're going to support you. They're going to be the mountain the shoulder you can lean on. So there is a support system, and it's strong support system for you from a friend, from a significant other, or from a business partner. Saturn over here. Wait. I don't know what's happening. Everything Mercury related to me today, it's just weird. All right. What else is gonna happen? Okay, so then it's going to Pluto in your sixth house. It has to do everything with your health, nutrition, and physical health, your fitness. Pluto over there going to make a huge change for you. So that's definitely a huge change. And it's squaring with your ninth house matter. So you might going to experience some kind of hip-related or liver-related issue. You might going to need to do a detoxification. It could be something toxicity in the body. It could be something food-related, right? Because Taurus is food and a sixth house is health. Pluto is toxicity. You might going to get food poisoning. Careful. All right, Virgos, careful. And it could be something also you can get, bitten by some kind of scorpio or poisonous animal, so snake, Pluto, right? So careful with that as well. EMF, like electromagnetic field, could be also toxic for you, and you need to detoxificate yourself. Ninth house has to do something also with your hip, not only with your liver. And some of you might going to need something with your hip surgery. Pluto is surgery. Yes, all right. Let's go to Libras here. Libra, it's gonna happen in your 8th house, and Saturn in your 6th, Pluto in your 5th. Pluto in your 5th has to do something with intimacy or not your intimate partner, that is romance and investment, joy, creativity, record labor, children, major transformation, the way you are experiencing joy. But let's talk about Mercury in your 8th house is shared resources. Taurus is earned money. Mercury over there, something to do with sales. 8th house could be something with mining. So you might going to have a windfall of money from mining, or it could be some kind of sales of vehicles, or any kind of communication devices, or Taurian energy. So if you actually in stock market with food, it could increase drastically. And Saturn is in your 6th house of health. So over there, Saturn going to do some kind of health-related delay or health-related issue, Libras. So what we have here, it could, you can actually lose weight, or, you might going to need to detoxify, and you might going to start an intermittent fasting, because Mercury in the 8th house has to do something with eating, swallowing, Mercury, and Saturn is something restriction with food in the 6th house. So you might going to start fasting, detoxification. And Pluto in the 5th, it's going to square. So it's something to have to do with investment or creativity. You're going to do a lot of researches, and you're not going to have time to creative project perhaps. And also it could, or you're gonna focus on money right now and not creativity. But it also could bring in some kind of fight with a lover or with a child, like because of inheritance, trust, prenup, or anything with inheritance kind of situation. So it's a conflict, could be between a child and you because of inheritance. All right. If you have a Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon or sun, it's going to be in your 7th house Mercury. So 7th house is your significant others. It's going to bring back conversation from the past, something what you already were talking about, right? And something what is coming back, and you need to re-talk. So readjust that kind of situation. It could be something with your sibling, or it could be something because Mercury rules the third house, which is younger sibling or your significant other sibling, and just bringing back a topic what you didn't like something about, and it could also bring back like okay, let's redo our vows, for example, or resign the contract between us, or do something with contract or sales. And it could be a business as well, a business relationship. And it's going to sextile with Saturn in the fifth house. So you and your partner, significant other, going to be happy about a child or children. It could be something like, oh my God, my children are well. They got into somewhere where we wanted them to get into to study, or it could be something with my children are getting matured and more responsible, and we are very proud of that, and that kind of situation could bring in. It could also bring in some kind of romantic long-term partnership for you. So some of you actually was only dating, and this Saturn over here and Mercury going to bring a contract between you. You move together, for example, or you open a bank account together, or you buy something together. Pluto in the fourth house is going to change your living situation permanently. Pluto gonna be here for 24 years back and forth. So that's pretty much for a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, it's permanent. If you are only in your 20s or you are teen, of course, it's still a long-term situation, but it means like you are finding a permanent position for your living situation or with your family. Unfortunately, Pluto is death, so it could bring in some kind of, and actually it could be your partner's parent. So actually it could be your in-laws who can die. But fourth house is also your representing the parent who nurtured you the most, because it's ruled by Cancer and Moon. So fourth house, so it's belongs from there. So Pluto over there could actually, unfortunately, have either a mother-in-law or mother figure passing, or substitute mother figure passing. But on the other hand, it could be some kind of powerful situation with your significant other or business partner. It could be like, okay, we need to sign the house papers because we are buying something and we're going to have it for both of our names. Or it could be something like, you know what, we need to do the trust for the family and for the children, and we need to sign it together. But somehow you and your significant other not necessarily going to agree on every single details. So that could represent that. All right, Sagittarius, rising, sun and moon. It's going to be in your sixth house. Mercury, and Mercury goes to retrograde here. That is your health. Definitely you need to go and ask for second opinion. So do a new blood test and ask for a second opinion if you were just tested for something. It could create a lot of lab work for you, blood testing. Sixth house is fitness. Sixth house has to do something with nutrition, daily routine. So it could bring back a tenant. It could bring back a roommate for you, or it could also, you find your dog if you lost it. It could bring back an opportunity to adopt a small animal, but also it is bringing back an opportunity. Maybe you were a member of a fitness club and you didn't go for a long time, and right now this is the time when you're going to, oh, I still have membership. I signed for 10 years. I haven't been there for 5, but you know what? I'm gonna do it, and you're going to go again. With Saturn in the fourth house, it's representing some permanent situation with housing. Also, just like for Scorpios. So what can it happen? Sixth house and Saturn, like you might going to rent out your house, and it's going to be for a longer period. Maybe you're going to do that for 2 years or 2.5 years, or you're going to rent something for 2.5 years. Or it could be something with a contract, as I said, with nutrition or healthcare. If you are working in healthcare, then you're going to get a new job, and it could be, or you're going to start to work from home in your home office. You're going to do your work base in your home, and you're gonna be there at least 2.5, 3 years. That Mercury retrograde can, this sextile indicate that with Saturn. It's gonna square with Pluto, so it could indicate like maybe you will change your neighborhood perhaps, or neighbors. It could indicate some kind of conflict with a neighbor. It could indicate some kind of written or verbal conflict with a coworkers, with a tenant. So yes, that's not really positive energy over here. Or it could indicate like you're going to get a news about your brother, sister who is younger, and it's going to be not a good news, perhaps, because Pluto, unfortunately, it's early degrees. It could indicate some of us, Sagittarius rising, can lose a younger sibling. And most likely the next 2 years when it's going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. And this kind of Mercury in sixth house, you're going to hear about your sibling health is not well. And actually it could be a permanent illness, something bad. It could also actually create some kind of difficulties with a small pet. It could be something like somebody stealing your pet, so careful. Mercury could indicate vehicles. Pluto is death, so careful with your pet not to run on the street. Be aware, okay? Be aware with them. All right, and let's go to Capricorn. Capricorn, you're going to have Mercury in your fifth house with your that is your investment prices, that is your children, dating, self-expression, record labor contact, entertainment, joy. Mercury over here could bring back some kind of investment in cryptocurrency or study about investment. With Saturn, it definitely could bring some permanent situation with oil, invest in crude oil or pharmaceuticals. It's positive, it's increasing your money, or increasing the opportunities, or it could become permanent. That could be also something with writing, but actually you have to rewrite your project right now, and it's going to get solidified. And Pluto in your second house squaring with Mercury, it's definitely an issue with investment, because second house also your tangible money, it is your earned resources, right? It's your salary. So over there, it could be like, you know what, I invested in something and it's supposed to be the payoff day, but right now I cannot reach my money. I cannot go to the bank collapsed, or somehow it's like some kind of seize over there. Some kind of difficulties, some kind of challenges with my money and with my investment at this moment. All right, what else could it be? So it could be like your values are changing with your children. So you were very strict, or you were very, like easygoing parent, and right now it's going to go vice versa. It could bring in a good communication between Saturn and Mercury, between your sibling or neighbor and between you. So that is positive. And also with your children, that is some kind of constant communication going on. And maybe before you didn't talk for a while with your sibling. But yes, Pluto and Mercury could be a tension with earned income and your salary and your investment. Maybe you gambled a little bit and put too much of your salary, and right now you are not capable to pay your rent. Okay, so Aquarius. So Aquarius, you're going to actually have that in your fourth house, Mercury. So you might actually going to have an opportunity with a living situation coming back. So it could be something with, oh my God, I have to find this way. I hate this. So why I don't? Okay. So this is in your fourth house, Mercury. And fourth house, it's something with your living situation. So that could be a deal with a new home. It could be something with I'm signing a contract to buy a house or sell something. And actually, it could give me a permanent satisfaction because Saturn in your second house and it's sextiling with it. So I'm going to have money in the bank, and you know what? I'm gonna capable to buy an undeveloped land because that's how I can preserve my money. Or something Saturnian, anything Saturnian. It could be like I'm having my watch collection and it's very expensive and I'm selling it or buying it to preserve my money. Saturn is Chronos, the watch, the time. So it could indicate that. And I'm going to have my watch collection in my home. And it's, you know, Pluto in your first house, everything to do with your self-esteem, self-awareness, with your body. It's squaring. So the way you communicate is changing. The family not going to like the way you communicate. You might become really powerful or very, very strict or maybe controlling. And they are like going to put a cease on it and say, no, that's not the way you are going to treat me, Mr. or Miss. And then I'm doing this. Thank you. So, no. And then, okay, so what is Pluto going to do here? Yes. So that is changing your communication and self-awareness, the way you represent yourself. You become very powerful. And if you are a Pisces, guys, that's going to happen in your third house, Pluto in your 12th house, Saturn in the first house. You might going to lose a lot of weight, Saturn being in your first house, but with Mercury actually in the third, it's going to indicate like everything around you, it's going, you know, you can start a project with writing. You can start a project with making and creating schools and teaching, but teaching trading schools, astrology schools, something with healing. And also it could create an opportunity to have a job like a journalist, and it could become a permanent job over there. Mercury also over here with swallowing, with the neck. So it could some kind of restriction with thyroid. So it is something you have to check out your thyroid. Maybe you have something and it's hard to swallow, Hashimoto, grave disease, something like that. But it's going to get resolved because it's a sextile. So it's going to get resolved, thanks God. And then it's Mercury in the third house. It could be like you get an opportunity to have a collection actually of old cars. Saturn is old. Mercury in third house is cars. So you might going to invest in a beautiful old antique car. It's squaring, however, with Pluto in your 12th house. Pluto in the 12th house, it's going to make you really intuitive, very, very psychic. You're going to be a really good researcher, is gonna work behind the scene. You're going to become like a detective, like you just gonna understand everything right away, download information. But squaring with Mercury over here, so you might going to download a lot of information, but you're not gonna actually capable to comprehend. So it's not gonna make logic. It's not gonna be logical, and it's gonna scare you, intimidate you a little bit because of what you're going to foresee. It's gonna be a little bit scary, and you are like, oh, does it even make any sense? So that kind of square here could indicate that, like when we are not able to comprehend. So I do have a Pisces sun, and I tend to do that. Like I have a lot of domination. I see in the future, and vivid dreams, lucidity, prophetic dreams, and sometimes I wake up and what the hell happens? You know, like you are sweating and oh my God, and in 2 years later, oh, okay, so actually I've foreseen everything, and that's what happened. All right. But it could also indicate like some kind of a secret enemy is talking behind your back and gossiping, and it could be somebody from your neighborhood, or it could be a younger sibling because of jealousy or of obsession, or it could be a friend also, and you know, like then you're going to have to eliminate and detoxificate your friendship zone and let them go. Okay, guys, if you loved my videos, please subscribe to my channel. like my videos and comment below. And, you know, like, let's connect. Let me know how did it work out for you. You know, like let me know how do you experience Mercury in your life, and how do you experience this sextile and this square between Pluto and sextile between Saturn. I would like to learn about you, and I would like to learn with you as well. Check out my website if you would like to have a personal reading, which is www.urbanwitch.org. Thank you so much. And I'm going to actually make another video soon about the Jupiter Cazimi. It's coming up in April 11th and 12th. Very powerful, amazing opportunities. And I'm going to do a video about that. See you soon. Thank you so much for your attention. Bye, friends. Bye for now.